On this inside line, I'm going to be comparing the Nitto Recon Grappler AT against the Nitto Ridge Grappler. This is going to be road performance, off-road performance, and which tire I think edges the other one out just a little bit. Now both of these tires look very similar at first glance. Both have an assortment of sharp leading edges, massive tread blocks, and a similar zigzag pattern. However, the Recon center tread has a unique arrangement of wide and narrow grooves. This was done to improve traction while minimizing road noise. I'll talk more about road noise here in just a little bit, but understand that even though they are similar, there are a lot of unique characteristics that are just distinct for the Recon Grappler AT. Now, like the Ridge Grappler, the Recon Grappler has a unique sidewall on each side, so you can sort of customize the look that you want and still have a functional biting sidewall. Another aspect about these tires that is similar but worth noting is that both of them can be picked up in a hard metric or an LT. Now, the hard metric is going to be slightly lighter with a little bit lighter sidewall. Now, they're still a durable tire, but what you have here is the hard metric is really your OE replacement tire. So if you have a stock F-150, stock Wrangler, and you're just looking for that replacement stock tire size, there's going to be these options for you. If you compare the two tires in the same exact size, you will find generally that the Ridge Grappler has a deeper and let's say taller tread block. Now, this is to be expected given that it is more of a hybrid tire, taking a lot of its cues from a mud terrain. So if you're looking for the tire with a little bit deeper tread block, it's definitely going to be the Ridge Grappler. Now, obviously, life expectancy is a big deal. The Ridge Grapplers have been around for quite some time. They do not, however, boast a mileage warranty like the Recon does. In terms of life expectancy, Recon's gonna be the one that's gonna give you the mileage guarantee. If you're curious about Ridge Grappler, in my experience, I think it's gonna be very similar to all-terrain mileage. It's just gonna depend on what you're doing with it, the weight of the vehicle that's under, if you're doing a hard off-road use, all that stuff. So a lot of factors there, but the good thing to note is you do get at least a limited tire wear warranty with the Recon Grappler. Now, it's worth talking about sipes as well. Now, these are the small cuts you see running across the tread block, and both the Recon and Ridge have a good helping of them. These are really important for wet weather conditions to help the tire sort of conform and keep you really planted on the highway. Having spent plenty of seat time in wet conditions with both tires, in my opinion, I feel like the Recon has a little bit better grip. It doesn't seem like it has a lot more sipes, but it just feels a little bit more planted. That being said, the Ridge Grappler isn't a bad wet weather tire. The Recon just seems to be a little bit better. I've put thousands of miles on the Ridge Grapplers, and what I will tell you is they start out super quiet, and as they age, they do get a little louder, but they never get mud terrain loud. They always just get, the hum gets a little bit more pronounced. The Recon Grappler so far has been very consistent with its noise. It's kind of what you would expect for an aggressive all-terrain, but it's not loud at all, and it's nowhere near what you would hear out of a mud terrain tire. Understanding that I only have 7 months of testing as of recording this on the Recon versus the Ridge, my initial findings is that the Recon Grappler AT makes less road noise. In fact, on my Ram 2500, the tire is barely audible. So if you are looking for quiet, my initial findings are that the Recon will slightly edge out the Ridge in this department. Okay, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of what I'm sure everyone really wants to know, which is how well these do off-road and which is the better of the two. Let's start with the Recon Grappler in gravel. If you plan on chasing more overland routes consisting of long desert 2-tracks and endless gravel roads, here's what you need to know about the Recon. With such large tread blocks, I don't find the small gravel gets lodged between the tread as easily. One thing that I have found that makes a noticeable difference with the Recon in this type of terrain is dropping the air pressure. This not only helps provide better ride quality and grip, but I feel like it gives the tire more stability at higher speeds. Now, for the Ridge Grappler, it's very similar in the fact that it does have very large tread blocks that prevent small rock bits from becoming stuck in between the tread as easily. At high speeds in gravel, the Ridge feels extremely sure-footed regardless of air pressure, so I definitely give it the edge up here. While I think both are great overland options, I do prefer the Ridge Grappler just a little more. Mud is always the great equalizer. I've spent time with the Recon Grappler AT in red clay and the loamy soil that is more common here in the southeast. In general, the key to keeping any all-terrain moving in any sort of mud is a gracious application of throttle. I was genuinely impressed at how easily the Recon cleans out at low speeds in the mud. Lower speeds mean more control, which is obviously the safer way to off-road. While you do have to keep your RPMs up on slick hill climbs, it requires way less wheel speed to do so than other all-terrains I have driven on in the past. The larger tread blocks and deep voids pay off well on wet trail conditions and absolutely put this tire in a league of its own in the all-terrain world. The Ridge Grappler, on the other hand, has proven to be extremely effective in the mud. Its deep voids, kick-out bars, and large mud terrain like stagger keep you moving forward without a lot of drama. Dropping this tire down into the single-digit territory on the trail has proven time and time again to be an extremely worthwhile way to increase traction, improve ride quality, and just general off-road performance of not only the tire, but the vehicle as well. Now, compared to the Recon, the Ridge Grappler does not require as much tire spin to clean out, which ultimately will give you more control in sticky off-road situations. While neither is a mud terrain tire replacement, both hold their own very well and excel in the all-terrain tire category. However, if I had to opt for one winner, it would be the hybrid Ridge Grappler. I understand that driving in the sand is a luxury that not everyone will partake in, but it is an area I frequent and has taught me a lot about these tires. Starting with the Recon, the first thing I noticed is that the tire does a great job of balancing bite with propulsion. You don't want or need an overly aggressive tire for most sandy conditions. Now, the Ridge Grappler is definitely more aggressive than the Recon, and you will feel this in a smaller size. I have tested the Ridge Grappler from everything from a 31-inch tall version to a 37-inch tall version. As you would expect, the larger sizes tend to do much better on the beach, but no matter what, you will always feel that the Ridge Grappler is fighting for traction pretty aggressively. Now, this doesn't mean that it makes it a bad sand tire, but you'll need to understand that it is going to be a bit more aggressive than, let's say, a traditional all-terrain, so airing down definitely helps. Overall, I think the slightly less aggressive stagger of the Recon Grappler AT serves it well in the sand and makes it my top pick in this terrain. One common misconception about all-terrain tires is that they are not good in the rocks. This couldn't be further from the truth. All-terrain tires offer greater contact patch over a mud terrain, and the more rubber on the rock, the better chance you have at getting traction. The big key for tire performance when rock crawling is to air down the tire. For the Recon, this helps tremendously, and I've found them extremely sure-footed even with a modest pressure drop to 15 psi. While I think getting these tires down to the single digits would only help improve their rock performance, the Recons have proven to conform and grip extremely well in rocky terrain, and this includes side hill stability. Now, compared to the Ridge Grappler, I have tackled everything from the red rocks of Moab to the sharp rocks here in the southeast. And what I have learned is this tire shines outstandingly in rocky terrain. Air pressure is the key at getting the most potential out of these modern grapplers. This is primarily due to the LT versions coming with such heavy-duty sidewalls. These sidewalls are designed not only to support high loads, but built to handle brutal trail conditions. Now, both of these tires will give you confidence in the rocks, and I would have no issues recommending either if rocky terrain was your primary focus. Just due to years of proven performance, I will give this one to the Ridge, but the Recon does not disappoint here. Now, in terms of road manners, I feel like both tires are pretty much on par. The Recon maybe being a little bit better. The Recon balanced really well. I've never had an issue with the Nitto balancing in general, but the Recons took very little weight, and that's been both for the set that I've tested on the Gladiator and the set that's underneath the Ram. You know, good wheels I think really help a lot with that, but it's been a really easy tire to balance. I feel like they roll down the road very well. You don't get any weird shimmy or anything like that. It's kind of tough to say which is better. I think they're both great tires. The Ridge Grappler on the road, I've just never had a problem with. There's never been a situation or a scenario where I think, man, this tire is just not good here. If I'm gonna go for which is the better daily driver tire and you're really worried about mileage, yeah, go for the Recon for sure. If you want something that's a little bit more trail oriented, has a little bit deeper lugs, I think looks a little bit more aggressive, go with the Ridge. It's really that simple in my mind, at least. So hopefully you guys found this informative. Please hit like, subscribe, do all that good stuff so our channel continues to grow. Appreciate it. Put a comment down below. You can tell me I'm crazy. You can tell me whatever. You can ask me a question. I'll do my best to answer them. If you got anything direct for me, you can always find me at Ali Mansour Editor on Instagram. And until then, I hope to see you guys on the trail soon. Take care. Bye-bye.